Good evening, friends. I want you to take a moment and just breathe. Not the kind of breath you take when you're rushing out the door or scrolling endlessly through your phone. I mean a deep, intentional breath. One that says, I'm still here, I'm still standing, and maybe, just maybe, there's more ahead for me. I want to start tonight by saying something that someone in this room might have never heard before. Your past is not your prison. I don't know what brought you here today. Maybe it was heartbreak. Maybe you lost someone. Maybe you lost yourself. Maybe it was guilt, shame, or a mistake you can't seem to let go of. Or maybe you're just tired of carrying the weight of who you used to be. If that sounds familiar, I want you to lean in, because I believe this moment is divine. It's not random. It's not coincidence. You're here because your heart is ready to remember who you are. See, we live in a world that loves to put labels on people. Oh, she's the girl who dropped out. He's the guy who got fired. They're the ones who didn't make it. And over time, we start to believe those labels. We take them on like tattoos on our soul, letting them shape how we walk, how we talk, how we love, and how we limit ourselves. But here's what I know for sure. You are more than your lowest moment. You are more than that one chapter of your life that tries to define the whole book. Let me tell you something that might sound radical. God is not intimidated by your past, not one bit. He's not sitting up in heaven with a red pen circling your mistakes. He's the author who already wrote the ending before you ever made the mess. I know it's hard to believe that when people only remember the worst in you. But the good news? People don't have the final word. Grace does. You might be here tonight with a past you can't erase, a heart that's broken in more pieces than you can count, and dreams that feel like distant echoes. But let me tell you, you're in the perfect place for a new beginning, because God doesn't need a perfect record. When we talk about transformation, we often think it starts with strategy, with the right plan, the right steps, the right conditions. But true change, it doesn't start with a spreadsheet. It starts with the heart. And let me be real with you, the heart doesn't always make sense. Sometimes your heart tells you to keep hoping when everything around you says, give up. Sometimes it whispers, try again, when you failed more times than you care to admit. And sometimes the heart remembers a version of you that the world has forgotten. Our history is loud. It screams our failures, our regrets, our what ifs. But the heart whispers destiny. It speaks in quiet moments, in still places, in the gentle nudges that say, you were made for more. But here's the catch. You can't listen to your heart if you're always listening to your history. And that's where so many of us get stuck. I remember talking to a young woman once who said, I just can't forgive myself. She had made a mistake, one that changed her life. And every time she tried to move forward, her past would yank her back like a shadow she couldn't outrun. So I asked her one question. Whose voice are you listening to? Because sometimes the loudest critic in our life isn't someone else, it's us. And when we let our shame be the narrator of our story, we lose sight of the main character. We forget that inside every broken heart is still a beating one. And I believe with everything in me that God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. He uses the overlooked, the underestimated, the ones who were never supposed to make it. So if you're here today and your history has been louder than your hope, I invite you to quiet the noise. Let your heart speak. Before you can move forward in your life, you have to make peace with the person you see in the mirror. Sounds simple, right? But it might be the hardest thing you'll ever do. Because we live in a world that makes money off your self-doubt. Every ad, every scroll, every comparison is designed to tell you what you're not. Not fit enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough. And slowly, without even realizing it, we start to believe that love, healing, and progress are things we have to earn. But you can't heal a heart you refuse to acknowledge. You can't grow a soul you keep rejecting. Self-acceptance isn't saying you're perfect. It's saying you're worthy anyway. It's saying, yes, I messed up. Yes, I've got flaws, but I am still deserving of love, of grace, of a second chance. I met a man once who had been through a terrible addiction. Years of pain, lost his family, lost his job. But one day he told me something I'll never forget. He said, "I finally stopped fighting myself. I decided to be kind to the man in the mirror." And that's when the healing began. Self-acceptance isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning, the soil where growth takes root. You don't have to fix everything today. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need one person, you. Because when you decide to accept who you are, even the messy parts, you start to see yourself the way God sees you. Whole, loved, becoming. Let me ask you a question. When you look at yourself, what do you see? Most of us would answer with what we lack. I'm not confident. I'm not enough. I'm just surviving. But when God looks at you, He doesn't see broken pieces. He sees a masterpiece in progress. He sees purpose. You might see a dead end, but He sees a doorway. You see a failure, He sees a fighter. You see the scars, He sees the story. And if you need proof that purpose can come from pain, just look at every person who ever changed the world. They didn't start perfect. They started available. God doesn't need your performance. He needs your permission. Permission to heal. Permission to lead. Permission to become. So tonight, I want you to walk out of here with one truth burning in your chest. You are not here by accident. You are seen. You are loved. You are chosen. And even if no one else ever tells you again, let this moment remind you, your heart is enough. Sometimes the hardest battle is the one happening inside your own head. Have you ever noticed how you can encourage everyone else, your friends, your coworkers, even strangers online? But when it comes to you, that same grace vanishes. You become your own worst critic, your own biggest roadblock. But listen, if your mind is constantly telling you you're not good enough, then it's time to fire that voice. You are not the thoughts that sabotage your peace. You are not the insecurities that echo when no one's around. Changing your life starts with changing your thoughts. That means refusing to rehearse your regrets. It means choosing thoughts that align with where you're going, not where you've been. It means catching yourself when you start to spiral and saying, "No, I refuse to live in reverse." Because a renewed mind leads to a restored life. There's a verse I love that says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Transformation doesn't happen overnight, but every time you choose a better thought, every time you speak life over your future instead of death over your past, you're making progress. You have the power to reframe the narrative, to stop telling yourself you're stuck and start reminding yourself you're still becoming. The past is a place of reference, not residence or home. Let go, reframe, renew, then watch what begins to shift around you. If you're waiting for someone to give you permission to heal, to change, to start over, stop waiting. You don't need anyone's approval to begin again. So many of us are stuck because we're still trying to get validation from people who were never assigned to our destiny. We keep waiting for them to say, "You're good enough now," or "I believe in you." But the truth is, your calling isn't a conference call. Not everyone needs to understand it. Not everyone will. You have to learn to move even when the applause is absent. You have to give yourself the permission slip they never did. I remember talking to a young artist once. She said, "My family never believed in my dreams. They told me I was wasting time." And you know what I told her? Good, that means your dream is big enough to scare people. That means you're not living in their box. Keep going. We don't need a green light from people who don't see what God placed inside us. So if no one claps, clap for yourself. If no one believes, believe anyway. If no one understands, understand this. Your life is your responsibility, and beginning again doesn't mean you failed. It means you're brave enough to try. So walk, even if it's shaky, even if it's messy. Your new chapter is waiting, and it only needs one author, you. Let me say something bold. Pain is not the end of your story. It's the place where power begins. Now I know that doesn't sound like good news at first, but think about it. Every superhero has an origin story. And more often than not, that story starts with loss, rejection, loneliness, or failure. The same is true for you. Your pain wasn't pointless. It was preparation. It sharpened your perspective. It gave you compassion. It made you strong in places you never knew existed. You want to know what real power looks like? It's not perfection. It's not being untouched by life. It's showing up with your scars and saying, yes, I went through it, but I didn't stop there. It's saying, this broke me, but it didn't bury me. Real power is quiet sometimes. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's found in the moment you decide to keep going, to show up, to breathe, to believe. There's a woman I once knew who had been through every kind of betrayal you can imagine. Family, friends, even her church. And I asked her once, how did you survive? She smiled, not bitter, not broken, just strong. She said, I turned the betrayal into boundaries, the heartbreak into healing, the pain into purpose. I didn't waste it. Friend, don't waste your pain. Let it be the thing that teaches you to speak up, to dream again, to reach back and help someone else. Because every wound you carry, it's proof that you lived. And when you rise, you give others permission to rise too. Here's the thing about growth, it's not always glamorous. It's messy, it's tiring, it's full of detours and delays. And there will be days when you want to quit. Days when you wonder if any of this even matters. If the healing, the growth, the effort, if it's even working. But here's what I want to tell you. Stay on the path, even when it's hard, even when it feels like you're walking alone, because every step is shaping you. Every struggle is strengthening you. There's a story I love about bamboo trees. When you plant a bamboo seed, nothing happens for years. Literally, it looks like nothing's growing. But underground, roots are forming. A foundation is being built. And after several years of what looks like nothing, suddenly the bamboo shoots up. It can grow several feet in just weeks. That's how your growth works too. It might look like nothing is happening, but under the surface, miracles are being formed. Keep praying, keep believing, keep showing up, because consistency is greater than intensity. You don't need to sprint, you just need to keep walking. One step at a time, one moment at a time, one choice at a time. Stay on the path, even when it's hard, because breakthrough is often on the other side of the moment you almost gave up. So here we are. Maybe this evening stirred something in you. Maybe it reminded you of a dream you laid down, a version of yourself you forgot, a whisper you silenced. Maybe you came in tired and now you feel just a little bit lighter, a little bit more seen. I want to leave you with this truth. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are still becoming. You were never meant to have it all figured out. You were just meant to keep becoming the person God always saw in you. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't look in the mirror for perfection. Look for progress. Don't chase applause. Chase purpose. And when it gets hard, because it will, remember this. Your heart is enough, not because it's flawless, but because it still beats. It still hopes. It still reaches for something more. So tonight, take the risk. Write the book. Call that person. Apply for the bomb. Say the prayer. Forgive yourself. Start over even if your hands are shaking. Because the world doesn't need your perfection. It needs your presence. It needs your story. It needs you. And no matter where you've been, no matter what you've done, no matter who walked away, God has not changed his mind about you. He still sees purpose. He still sees potential. And he still says, your heart is enough. Thank you.